Well, good evening, everybody. I'm glad you're here. My name is Larry Frederick. I am the secretary for the Democratic Party in Santa Cruz County. I'll be your moderator for tonight. I am not going to be talking much. This is really going to be these guys doing most of the talking, except you're going to get a chance to ask them questions. Andres is back here in the corner, and he'll have a mic, and so if you'll raise your hand, he will go up to you, and you can ask them a question. Now, I want to remind you of something. This is not a debate. This is a job interview. They are interviewing to you because you're the ones who will hire them. You are the ones who are going to decide whether or not they get hired, whether or not they get elected. You're the most important people in the room. There are some folks who are going to be watching live on Facebook and on YouTube Live, and they will have a chance to submit questions online. I'll be watching for that, but we'll take the questions here in the room first. Another very important thing to say, if you really have to go to the bathroom is behind that little hall over there. So rather than getting up and walking in front of everybody, if you'll take the steps up and you can walk over behind everybody. Unfortunately, everybody will know exactly where you're going. So I just gotta warn you in advance. It's not gonna be a chance to sneak over there. However, you know, you gotta go. There's plenty of limonada, there's plenty of jamaica, there's not nearly as many cookies as there were, because those are going fast, but those are free. You're welcome to have any of those that you would like. Does anybody out here have any questions about what's going on tonight? We don't know either. We haven't done this before. By the way, this is sponsored by the Santa Cruz County Democrats, and we want to give you a chance to know who you're voting for. And this seemed like a good way to get their faces in front of you, get their voices in front of you, and get to know them just a little bit. Okay? So I'm not going to talk anymore. Our first up is going to be our mayoral candidates, and David Reese is going to go first. So, David, you have 5 minutes to introduce yourself. I haven't started the timer yet, so you're good.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. My name is David Reese. I am a native Nogalian, born and raised, graduated high school. After high school, I decided to serve my country, so I joined the Arizona Air National Guard, where I went on to serve 20 and a half years and retired successfully, honorable discharge, one tour, Operation Iraqi Freedom. Then, while doing that, I was hired by the Department of Homeland Security, where I retired after 22 and a half years of service, honorable service. And today I'm here asking for your vote. I have a public service background. I'm honest, I'm transparent, and I have accountability. All those traits were instilled in me by my parents, who are still alive, thank God. And that's where it starts, at home. So that helped me get to where I'm at in life right now. And the reason I'm running for Nogales is to back the youth. Okay, we need soccer fields for them. We need to get them off their cell phones and get them playing sports like we did. My vision would be like a sports complex for the city of Nogales. And that is something that will attract people. We can have tournaments and bring revenue for the city of Nogales. I want to bring investments to Nogales. We need to bring people. I say Nogales is a perfect opportunity to come invest, make your business here. And it's a safe, small town. And we can create jobs for the citizens of Nogales. I am also an advocate for shopping local. Shop local here in Nogales before going to Tucson. The reason being, we get the revenue, the sales tax. And that's very important. Nowadays with Amazon and Walmart and everything else doing online, that's lost a lot of business in Nogales. So we need to first shop local. We can't get it locally here in Nogales, then we have no choice but to go outside. Housing for the elderly people here in Nogales. You know, I'm a very strong for the Montezuma project. We need to advocate that. It's a beautiful concept, 50 plus rooms downtown where we're at. Same thing, kind of like the Bowman. And also we need to work with investors for starter homes compatible to the wages of Nogales. Okay. If elected, I am going to work with the council. We need to work together. It's a team. The reason that being is I'm very transparent, I'm very honest, and I'm very straightforward. If there's something that somebody's doing wrong, I'm gonna call them on it. And I expect the same thing for me if I'm doing something wrong. I am a new candidate, therefore, why is that a very good thing? Because I'm here to learn the job. I don't have any bad habits. I'm going to learn. And who am I going to count on? The experience of the council. Guidance. But I'm also a person that's not afraid to ask questions. I am going to work with the council to hire the most qualified candidates, and we're going to give them training, strong leadership, communication. We're going to have a structured chain of command, both from the employees up to the directors, to the city manager, up to the council and mayor. And I am also very proud and very thankful, appreciative to Ms. Linda Hatfield, who is the Communications Workers of America Union Local 7000, for their endorsement, for them believing in me. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Now, does anyone have any questions for Mr. Reese?
Yes, sir.
I can just, we have a city council that sometimes isn't on the same page. We see a lot of division at city council meetings, etc. Can you talk to us about experience that you may have in bringing people with different ideas together? How are you going to create unity in order to be able to do some of the things that you'd like to do?
Great question, thank you. My experience with the military and with the Department of Homeland Security, I was very fortunate enough to work with people from different countries, different backgrounds. We all need to work together. We all had a roundtable discussion. We all bring out ideas, and we hash out the best idea for the mission or the project that is to be done. And communication is key. We need to make decisions based on facts, not on emotions. A lot of people make decisions based on emotions, and that's when the decisions go wrong.
Thank you. Any other questions? This one over here.
Good afternoon. Do you see a need to strengthen the relationship with the county government? And if so, what will be your plan of action to make that collaboration happen?
Absolutely, we need to work with the county government. We need to work together. We need to be one team. They're the ones that receive all the revenue from the property taxes. And we need to invest some of that money back into Nogales. We need to fix our infrastructure. Some of our infrastructure is very bad. And where does it start? With communication. Communication is key. And And not only that, but being transparent. Let's hash out what the problems are. But we need to do it civilly, and we need to work together as a team.
You spoke on building local, thank you. You had spoken on building local businesses and building our economy, supporting local businesses. How do you plan on supporting some of those small businesses to allow them to be able to open their own brick and mortar shops? There are quite a few business owners in the county that have limited resources or no other choice but to work from home. How are you planning on providing opportunities for those businesses to be able to keep businesses local, available, and with exposure where they're able to build upon their businesses and allow for our local economy to grow?
Okay, with that, I would, get a meeting with the city council, and we're going to look for resources. There's a lot of money out there. We need grants. We need to reach out. We need a grant writer for the city of Nogales. That position is open. So we're going to go out and seek somebody. There's a lot of money out there, but we need to know how to reach it by doing the grants correctly. Because you do something wrong with a grant, and that grant is done. And there are grants for small businesses, starting businesses, and that's what we're going to go seek.
Would there be any opportunity to offering discounts or offering waived fees for some of these businesses when grants are not readily available?
If the city council agrees to it, absolutely, absolutely. And this is, for some of you that might not know, the way the city of Nogales works is you have a mayor and 6 council, and you gotta have a majority of the vote in order to make anything happen. So that's the first step. That's why things do not get done, because you have 4 against 3 in the negative. Here we need to turn it around where it's 4 against 3 in the positive, and we need to make Nogales grow.
Any other questions?
No, I thought we were gonna get introduced one by one and then field.
No. Each person's gonna do it separate from everybody else.
Okay.
Sorry.
That
Yeah.
wasn't the impression I understand.
No, sorry about that. Other questions?
I have a question.
And we're asking you to use the mic so that the people who are on the broadcast can hear the question too, so.
Ok, buenas tardes, y me permite, voy a hacer la pregunta en español.
Muy bien.
Mi nombre es Melissa Gallegos, soy directora de la organización no lucrativa Zero Stress Movement y también trabajo para la oficina de la superintendente Maya Travelli. Anteriormente, con los mayores anteriores, hemos tenido muy buena comunicación y hemos colaborado para traer a nuestros jóvenes salud física y salud mental. Como le comento, con nuestros mayores anteriores hemos tenido la flexibilidad de construir un parque, un trail aquí en Monte Carlo, y mi pregunta para ustedes, ¿usted continuaría el acuerdo existente para que nuestra comunidad y nuestra organización mantener este parque y colaborar con usted, así como lo hemos trabajado con nuestros mayores anteriores?
Bueno, yo estoy dispuesto a seguir los acuerdos. Yo no estoy de acuerdo, no he visto ese acuerdo. Quiero verlo, quiero ver si hay que cambiarle una cosa, pero todo lo que sea para la juventud, yo estoy de acuerdo, siempre y cuando tenga el apoyo del concilio.
Gracias.
Anybody else?
We still have a couple of minutes, so I'll give you a question.
Yes, sir.
Right now, there are 6 departments that are in search of heads, and honestly, the city manager position is one that might as well be constantly interim, because once a city manager's been hired, they usually don't last more than about 1.5 years or so. What could you do to make sure that we get the best quality department heads and that we keep them in place long enough to actually affect change?
Very good question. We need to work together, mayor and council. We need to select the most qualified candidates there is. Once they are selected, we need to, with the help of the city manager, because it's their job, to provide training, to provide chain of command, to provide whatever the employees need. So there has to be open communication. We have to have a solid structure in order for us to move forward. The way the city is right now, we can't even work with inside the city. It's so much chaos. So we need to build a foundation, solid foundation within the city of Nogales before we can go out and help our constituents.
Thank you. Any other questions? All right, we just have a few seconds left, so we'll go ahead and thank you so much.
Thank you very
Mr.
much for listening to me. One thing I will ask you, please go out and vote.
Absolutely.
Please go out and vote. Thank you guys.
Absolutely.
Have a good evening.
Thanks. And now we'll ask Arturo Garino to come up, introduce himself, and you'll have 5 minutes.
Thank you very much, and good afternoon, everybody. Most of you know me. I was born and raised in Nogales. Give you a little story. My dad was from New York City, and my mother from Santana, Sonora. He came to Nogales right after World War II, after his separation from World War II. He met my mom and never left Nogales. Isn't that beautiful? Fell in love. From there, the Garinos started. 3 brothers, there's 3 of us, and 3 sisters. We all went to school in Nogales. We all graduated in Nogales, and very hardworking family. When I graduated from high school, I had the decision I could go to the university because my father was 100% disabled from World War II. And I could have gotten a deferment, gone to university just like my brother and sister did. But I decided not to. I decided to volunteer and go to Vietnam. I did 3 tours to Vietnam, and I was in the Navy, and I was a second-class petty officer when I left there. I have an honorable discharge from the Navy, and I have an honorable discharge from the Army National Guard also. I did 2 years of college, and then I started in public service. I started as a firefighter for the city of Nogales, then a police officer for the city of Nogales, then a deputy sheriff for the city of Nogales. Then I went a little higher. I was the public works director for the city of Nogales. After that, I got the political bug. Why? Because I was involved in public life, not only as an employee of the city and the county, but also in nonprofit organizations that I work with. Christmas in April, which is Rebuilding Together, the Borderland, the Community Food Bank. I've worked directly with the Cero Stress. I've worked directly with all these organizations. I've always helped them out, making sure that we have what we need for the kids, especially when it comes to health and wellness. I'm the type of person that believes in having the kids outside and breathing the fresh air than sitting at home playing with their laptops and their phones, which we did as children when we were young. One of the things that I did 3 years ago, after I left the position of mayor, I sat down at home and I started looking at our city. And I was going month after month, year after year, and I didn't like what I was seeing. That's why I'm back running for office, because I'm a leader. Like it says on my brochure, it says, ready on day 1. With me, you do not have to go in there and wait a month, 6 months, a year for me to do my job. The minute I open the office, I start working as a mayor. I've always been a leader. I was a leader in the Navy, leader in the Army, and I've been a leader, like I said, Public Works, and almost all my life. As presidents of several organizations within the city of Nogales, nonprofit organizations. So that is what I bring to you, I bring to Nogales. I heard some of the questions that you asked. I hope you ask those questions to me. I'll give you the answer. Because I've been through those questions. And I can answer that the best way I can. Why? Because I performed that. And when it comes to the union, I was the first union president in the city of Nogales for the fire department. Before there was CWA, before there was a PD. Okay? So, when it comes to, working for the people, I'm your guy. I've always worked for the city of Nogales. I love Nogales. And, a couple of the things, I'll give you a couple of things that I did during my time, besides paving about 30 streets in the city of Nogales, over $13 million worth of pavements I did when I was mayor. The port of entry, Mariposa port of entry, I put the shovel in the ground, I cut the ribbon on that one. The flyover on Mariposa Road, I put the shovel in the ground and I cut the ribbon on that too. So whatever comes along, the DeCassini port of entry, I'll work directly with GSA to make sure that that project gets through in the proper way, with the assistance of the residents of Nogales. And I strongly believe in having town hall meetings so that the people can actually work with the mayor and council.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Does anyone have any questions for Mr. Carreño?
Same question. Do you see a need to strengthen the relationship with the county government? And if so, what will be your plan of action to make that collaboration happen?
Of course, when I was mayor both times, even when I was a member of the city council and vice mayor in my first term, we had that bridge with the county. Not only the county, but with the state of Arizona and with Nogales, Sonora. You have to maintain those bridges to be able to complete the projects that you have. And one of the projects that we got together with the county before you came to office, sir, is the land that we exchanged for the recreation park at the end of Calabasas. I'm sure you're aware of that. That's part of putting that bridge together. That would be great for baseball fields, for soccer fields, and for any type of a recreation that we could have jointly with the county and the city. And like I said, I've worked directly, not only with the county, but I've worked directly with the clinics, the Holy Cross Hospital, and also the schools. So I'm the type of guy that will build a bridge and make sure that bridge is strong enough to be able to work together.
Mayor Garino, you've had the longest standing city manager, Sean Dealey.
Yes.
That was here for 6 years, did a lot of great projects. What was the magic to getting him here? How can you use that information, how you had him here and working with the city for so long? And also, how would you use that information to hopefully get department heads? There would be more stability in our city government.
Thank you very much for the question. And yes, Mr. Dealey is a great man. He is a city manager for Sahuarita right now. And believe me, they'll never let go of him. He is a very good city manager. At the time when he was manager during my term, he was the chair of the managers, national managers for the whole United States, okay? He is a good man. When he came for interviews, there was about 3 or 4 others that came to do the interviews. He presented himself the best way possible. And I'm glad that it was a unanimous vote between the members of the council and myself to select him. He was very careful on maintaining morale with the employees and with the directors. He never allowed a member of the city council or mayor to have any say-so with the directors or employees, because you're not supposed to. A mayor and city council, they set policies and they vote on the policies so that the city manager can perform those policies with all the employees. We're not supposed to get involved. And it's the best way. And if you elect me again and I'm mayor again, believe me, no member of the city council will have any communication with any employee or any director for no reason at all. That's why we have a city manager. That's why in 2000, myself, my wife, and 5 others, we were part of the committee that we brought it together to have a strong manager form of government instead of strong mayor form of government. And I'm glad we passed that, and that was a vote of the people. Everything that is done in that office is the will of the people. It's not the will of the mayor and council. The people decided they wanted the city manager. And I'm glad, because every city in the state of Arizona, there might be a couple, I'm not sure, but they all have city managers. Why? Because that's the way to do it. Because in the past, when I got elected as Public Works Director, I got elected with a strong mayor form of government. And let me tell you how it was. They elected me. Luckily, I was only there for about 2 or 3 months, and then the city manager form of government came into place. But at that time, when the mayor came in, and members of the council came in, new ones, they got rid of all the directors and half of their compadres. That's what they used to call them. And why? Why'd they do that? Because they had to bring their people to help them with their campaign. That's not the way it's done. The way it's done is to have a city manager perform his duties and allow that man to do, or woman, to do their job to the best of their abilities. And the second part of the question, it's good. It's good to put out opportunities for new directors. Hopefully all the directors, the way I feel, should be local people. It's not very easy to find local with experience. But when I got appointed as Public Works Director, I didn't get appointed because I had a 4-year degree. I got appointed because I had 25 years of experience in construction. I knew the community, and plus, they knew very well that I understood the standard development code for the city of Nogales. That's why I got elected. That's why I got appointed to that position. So, not always do you need a degree, because there's a lot of good people in Nogales that we could select to be those directors. And we had a bunch of good directors, and now we don't have them.
You mentioned that you come with experience and that you're ready to start working on day one. This is in fact a 2-part question.
Okay.
When you do begin work, what is your first intended project, if re-elected? And with that, what do you plan to do differently than you have in the past, given that you have experience in the role?
Well, part 1 is to build consensus with the city council. That is number 1. That's what a city mayor should do. Build consensus with the city council. Ask them to come into your office one by one, talk to them, find out what they think they want to do for the city. A lot of them have different ideas. Some like sports, some like infrastructure, some like engineering, some like finances. Find out the needs of those city council. That's building consensus. That's number 1 thing a city mayor should do. Not go in there looking to see what you're going to do, what you're going to tear up. No. Open that door, bring them in, and find out exactly. And then with that same question, start finding out, talk to some of the people, the leaders out in the community from private businesses, and find out, okay, what's been missing on for instance, their opportunities to grow their companies or economic development. And then you start building on that too. Those components, when you start building on that, you can take it very far. You can really start the machine of the city. Like I always said, it's the oil of the machine, economic development, and also the share revenue funds that you get from the state, and also the funds you get from the taxes within the city, not the property taxes, mind you. But that's the way it's done. The second question was?
What do you plan to do differently?
Differently? Actually, I was doing a great job. I don't even know why I lost.
No room for improvement?
Yeah. Yes. Let me tell you one thing. You mentioned a little while ago what can be done for businesses to come in. All right. Within my administration, we passed the incentive program. It's in the city right now. We don't have to reinvent that. We have it here. That's how they gotta look at this building. Okay, the city's supposed to help with infrastructure of the building, permit process of the building, a one-stop shop at Public Works and Planning and Zoning for whoever's going to open a building in the Morley Avenue and build new businesses. That's right now. You don't have to come in and reinvent that.
May I rephrase my question?
Yes.
Were there any projects that you didn't have an opportunity to complete while you were in office?
Yes, and I wish I would have completed them.
Is that something that you intend to do? And
No, luckily this mayor completed them.
Thank
He
you.
did. He completed, not all of them, mind you, but the principal ones like Royal Road, Rancho Grande, Camino del Sol, Western Avenue. But those projects, the $15 million for those projects, the loan that we got, that's going to take the city 10 years to pay, we got it under my administration. The concept for those projects was under my administration. But this administration finished it. And that's the way it's supposed to be. When I took office, the previous mayor had a couple of jobs he had started, infrastructure projects, I finished them. On my first administration, the mayor that was there had some projects also started, and I finished them. You're not supposed to ignore those projects just because they're not yours. You're supposed to finish them because you're working for the people of Nogales, not for that mayor or the previous administration. And that's the way you have to look at things.
And our time is up. Thank you so
Are you
much
sure
for
about
getting. Yeah, I've got the timer here.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Next up, we have 3 of our candidates for City Council. And Mr. Mike Melendez, would you please go first?
Well, first of all, I thank you very much for coming and inviting me. I would like to give my the back to the other kind. Thank you for the invitation. I would like to thank also City Council Ana Parada for being here and demonstrating interest. Also Salvo Bonillas, and I would like to give some thanks to Luis Carlos Davis for he's the supervisor of District 1 and also District 3 for demonstrating interest in working with the city. Also, I would like to give thanks to my wife that she accompanied me here at this event. And to all the people that they're seeing, well, I would like to say that thank you for watching. My name is Mike Melendez. I wasn't born in this great country. I wasn't born in this great country, but I'm very grateful. I was born in Nogales, Mexico. I was benefit with the amnesty with Mr. President Ronald Reagan, and I came to this great country in '86. I started my business first in Terrace Avenue, and then 3 years later I started buying properties. I bought the property from Mr. Alfredo Puche, God bless his soul, right in front of where it used to be the Mexican consulate. I had a business for handcraft items from Mexico for 32 years. Now I sold them, I retired, and I had another business, but also prices came in 2008, and business happens. Sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down. But that's the way it goes. And I'm been a businessman for 45 years, trying to be a member of the City Council 3 times with this one. I also run for Supervisor District 1, District 2, 16 years back, and 3 times for Supervisor District 1. I lost for last election against Luis Carlos Davis. But I'm planning, if you give me your vote, I'm planning to work with him and also District 2 because they're all inside the Nogales area. And we're going to stretch hands there. One thing is that we are competitors, and the other thing is to being a public servant. Just like Mayor Garino says, we're going to work for the people, not because I like somebody or somebody like me. So this is an office and a position that we need to work for the people, for the best interest of the community. I see here in Nogales that we have lots of opportunities because we're in the black of everything. First of all, we do need a university here. We had like 300 young men and boys and girls that went out, graduated. But they're all, or maybe 90% of them, they're going to go out. Or they already went out of Nogales to seek, of course, their own benefits. But that will put their families in a position that is going to be hard for them because maintaining the family here and then also the apartment and whatever they need to do and wherever they decide to go, well, it's a big challenge. But we need to work with them. Also, we need to actualize the local laws to make it more friendly for the investors. Because remember that, the investors are the ones who create jobs. And I've been in business for 32 years there. And the thing is that I know a lot of people that they've been trying to put a business here in Nogales and they have, lots of problems to get into business. So I'm very sad that there's a lot of buildings that they're empty and I would like to fill them up with good businesses that create jobs here to the community. 1 minute?
30 seconds.
Oh, 30 seconds. Okay, well, that's lots of time. And I would like to say something in Spanish. Pues muchas gracias por haber asistido a este foro y estoy muy agradecido yo aquí con el país que me ha dado tantas oportunidades y los cuales quisiera yo regresar algo a mi comunidad. Yo ya estoy en una posición, pues que estoy jubilado, ya no tengo necesidad de trabajar, pero sí quisiera ver por las nuevas generaciones. Muchas gracias.
Thank you. Now, does anyone have any questions for Mr. Melendez?
Sometimes in government, or all the time in government, you have to balance long-term versus short-term. One of the obvious issues that Nogales is facing right now is with the water. Short-term and long-term, right? The water division of the city can't support itself. It's always needing extra infusion. The citizens aren't paying enough for the water that they're receiving. It's difficult because how are you going to increase the prices of water? At the same time, how are you going to keep our infrastructure up so that we don't all of a sudden find ourselves without water, a very necessary resource? Sorry.
Well, thank you for the question. The thing is that we inherit that problem. It's not this administration or the past one. It's been like that for the past 100 years because the same tubes that the water come to, they've been there for I don't know how many years, but long term. So it's not the citizens' fault or the people that live here in Nogales that we have to pay because of their bad administration. So I'm against having any increase in the water bill, the sewer, or the trash because we need to balance the budget and do whatever is necessary for the benefit of the community. Remember that this community, we are struggling. There's no jobs, or there are some jobs. Let me rephrase that. We are in the need of more jobs. We need to bring more infrastructures or investors and be, the government needs to be like friendly to them to see what kind of help that the government could work with them, with the city council, the mayor, and also the county supervisors. We also need to make the city more attractive. There's big companies like Walmart, Home Depot, that they have that vision because we're in the border and we have the privilege of being at this side of the border in the United States. Remember that we are local, I don't know this census how much people they think that we are here living, but we're around 20,000 people. But across the line there's more than 500,000. And 500,000, they don't have all passports, but maybe, I don't know, 10%. That makes 50,000 people that come every day to Nogales and buy our products. So we need to have that vision and make the city more beautiful for investors and give them incentives. I don't know, get in contact with the county government, and maybe we can stress the benefit that they can have for those businesses, depending on the type of business. It's all, if they're going to contract 1 or 2 persons, we can give them more facilities to an industry that's going to come and create 100 jobs. But we need to be that persons in the city council and the mayor with enough futuristic vision to do things for our community. So we need to work a lot. And I'm willing to do that and spend many time that is needed because you know that our salary for the mayors, whoever people elect, is $50 a month, less taxes. And for the city council, it's half of that. So we are doing it because of the love that we feel here, and we need to do more things. And it's not the money, because we had like city managers that they make, I don't know, 150-some thousand plus benefits and things, and they get turned down for a year and a half by being there because it's not complying with necessities of the citizens, or they don't communicate with the city council and the mayor. I don't know the different problems though, but we need to work together. We need to start working like they want, like the Mayor Ganino says. And I'm willing to work with everybody, whoever gets elected, for the benefit of the community and the younger generations.
Other questions? Same question. You mentioned working collaboratively with District 1 and District 2, so that's the first part of my question. But the second part of my question, do you have a plan of action to make that collaboration happen between the city and the county? Thank you.
Well, first of all, we need to be more friendly between the city and the county. I've heard several administrations back that to get an appointment with who was in District 1, you need to pass 3-4 months. But we're very near. We're just a phone call away. So I'm going to be working a lot with Carlos Davis and also with Bugs Molera, that he's going to be part of Nogales because he is the representative of District 2. But unfortunately, he didn't came. He had something else to do. He's not demonstrating any kind of interest for this photo or the election of the city manager, the city councilman, and or the mayor. So that's unfortunate. But we're going to work together, and we need to be more friendly because, like Mayor Garino says, the budget of the county is one, the budget of the city is another, but we need more money because we have the larger population. Even though the rest of the county is very big and they have other issues and things, but working together, I think that we can do a lot better for the population here in the city and in the whole county, and also for the tourists that come and visit. So we need to break down grants or whatever is necessary to make this work. Thank you.
Other questions?
Okay.
That's fine.
Hi. So I'm going to present the same question to you that I did to Mr. Ruiz. That's about, you did touch base on creating or or sustaining our local economy. You also mentioned some of the major corporate companies that have come in and essentially monopolized many of our businesses. I do understand that Walmart and Home Depot do offer a good economical impact on our community. However, how are we going to empower our local and small businesses to be able to build upon their businesses without the need of an investor? And to be able to fill all of the empty spaces on Morley that you also touched on.
Without the need of an investor. Well, we all need money to work. So we do need to be with the idea that we need more investors. The investor, I mean, either a company, big company, that they employ 500 people, 200 people, 100 people, or the local entrepreneur that he or she has, I don't know, $10,000, $15,000 to invest in something, some little business. And if they happen to try to open a restaurant, I used to have a building that I sold, and it was a restaurant there. Then we had like a grass for the trap of the grease and everything of 50 gallons. Now the city wants 1,500 gallon trap, and that will cost the investor, the landlord, or whoever is doing or trying to do the business between $30,000 and $40,000. But if they only have 15,000 to work, that's it. You're killing the investor.
So how do you plan on supporting those entrepreneurs that would like to sustain their businesses without having a major financial backing?
Well, like I said first, we all need money. Depending on, even though I came from Mexico with one hand in the front and the other in the back, but a lot of friends that had a lot of money, that they have product that they have invested, and I had the sources here that I can sell their products. So we did an arrangement there. So we need the government needs to be more friendly to the businesses. If that's a law to have a 15,000 gallon grease trap, well, maybe we can extend it a little. Let them work. Let them start seeing if the business is okay. Let them contract some people, because they have like a restaurant would work maybe with 7 or 8 persons or 10, and later on, in the next 2 or 3 years, then we're going to start asking for that situation of the trap. Or work somewhere there in the middle that they can start their own business. So it's like my business that I had 32 years on it. I wasn't waiting for the persons locally to come and buy. The tourists came and they supported me for 32 years. But I also helped them, and I went to Taos, Mexico, to Phoenix, to Las Vegas, to LA, to Tubac, to a lot of other places selling my product. So it's not just let's see what you can give me. No. It needs to be like a teamwork. So we need to work, and we need to do a lot of things. But we do need lots of businesses here. We need to be healthy for investors to look this way and not go to Sierra Vista, to Sahuarita, to Phoenix, to Tucson. So there's a lot of jobs, but I'm willing to work with that. That's no problem. And I know here we have like 6 councilmen and a mayor. Across the line, there's 20 councilmen and the mayor. I know mostly, maybe 12 of them, I do know. Even though there are going to be some changes because the federal government they're going to reduce it from 20 to 15. But anyway, we're sister cities. We need to work together. And maybe out of the 150 maquiladoras in Nogales, Mexico, maybe some they would like to come here and finish their product. Not the big companies, but maybe a little department that finish the product here and contract, 50 persons, 100 persons, 20 persons. But if several come, there's going to be more beneficiary for our community.
I have an online question asking, could you explain what the job of the city councilman is?
Well, first of all, we're elected by the citizens, not the immigrated people or the immigrants. We are elected by the citizens here of the United States. And once we're there, we need to see the necessities of each sector of the city and look for all the different necessities that the community has. The city has a budget right now. I think that they're working on 107 million. But I am more that we need to also contribute with that money a percentage that goes back to the citizens of this community. In the fire department, the police department, safety, lighting, paving of roads, sidewalks, and also make it more attractive, our little town here, for other investments and creating jobs. So our position, like city council, is very important because we need to feel and feel and see and detect the necessities of our community.
Thank you. Other questions?
So you
And
touched.
We have 1 minute left, by the way.
Okay, so you touched on something that I like, the $107 million budget. Is there no way, considering, imagine there's no investors, no grants, imagine no one can come and give us money. Is there no way that you guys can use the $107 million budget to invest in our local business?
Could you put it, okay.
No, yeah, to invest in our local business at all for that $107 million budget. Besides beautifying the city to attract investors and grants, imagine there's no investors, no grants. Is there any other plan to help us? That's all.
Well, that budget is from the city to maintain the employees, to maintain the service, to maintain everything. Out of that budget, I would suggest and do a project for the rest of the members of the city council and mayor that we need to give back to our community, at least 1%. That would be $170,000 to all the organizations that go and represent our community, to motivate communities and people like here that we need to let them know that the city is there to help them.
Thank you, Mr. Melendez.
Thank you very much.
And next up, we have Mr. Luis Parra.
Good afternoon. Thank you for attending. My name is Luis Alonso Parra. Everybody knows me as Louis. I'm born and raised here in Nogales. I'm a tomato broker by trade, and I love Nogales. I've had the chance to live in Los Angeles, San Diego, beautiful cities, beautiful country, beautiful states, and I always come back to Nogales for many reasons. For the homeliness of Nogales, for the 4 seasons that you experience in Nogales every year, profoundly, and because of the community of Nogales. I ran for supervisor some time ago with Mr. Davis and another one. I came in 3rd as an independent, not too bad. And I had the privilege of meeting Siscomani. And I wrote a letter to him, and I gave it to him, and I said, Siscomani, if I win, I'm going to lean on you however I can for your guidance and leadership and opportunity, because Nogales is a city that could have been and never was. We've been around close to 150 years. We're on the border. We should be like Calexico. We should be like McAllen. But there's many reasons why we're not there. One of them is red tape. One of them is, I don't know what the word is in English, but un poco malinchista, you know, you support everybody but Nogales. I know people that had a coffee shop here. My brother and my sister had a coffee shop here. It was ahead of their time. It was called Beans and Grinders. It was at the where Ragazzi is and all those shops are, where Blockbuster used to be. And people used to come in and they say, oh, you guys take too long for the coffee. Oh, your sandwiches are so expensive. Not taking into account, it's very expensive. It's more expensive to make a sandwich than a hamburger. And it takes time to make coffees and all that such. Now, fast forward, you're standing. Yeah, you're hello? Now everyone's standing at a Safeway. Is it me?
Yeah, let's switch mics.
Right.
See if that works.
There you go. So now everybody's standing at a Safeway without griping, and I'll omit the word with the B. So Nogales has to support each other. Nogales, if it wants to grow, we have to sustain our own selves. And what do I mean by that? The city council, the county, they have to make it easier for business. A lot of people don't know what it takes to make a business. A lot of people don't know how brave you have to be. Brave to open up your own business. It takes a lot of intestinal fortitude, guts, to roll the dice. And you're gonna try to comply, you're gonna try to get a niche, you're gonna try to give service. But everyone in Nogales comes, oh, pues, it's good, but I like it, but there can't be any buts. There's growing pains, there's dedication, and there's support, economic support. Nogales relies only on our sales tax. I believe, it's my opinion, that we have to reinstate property taxes. Whoever canceled it, I don't know who it was, or I know who it was, but I'd rather not say, I think it was a very, very, very bad decision. They could have put it at 0.001 and left the trigger there to open it when we needed it. And believe me, we'd be in a different state. I feel, and a lot of people told me, we pay property taxes to the county, and it goes to Amado or Elgin or everywhere else, and what about my neighborhood? And to a certain extent, it has a point. That's very simple, but it doesn't mean that isn't figuratively deteriorating their attitude towards the city. The red tape involved to make a business is incredible. Incredible. To me, the bigger the government, the smaller the citizen. To me, most of the government has to justify their existence. So that being said, it's 5 inches. It should have been 6 inches. So no, you can't go. I have a friend, she wanted to open up a tattoo parlor right here on Grand Avenue, and it was going to cost her, le iba a costar más el caldo que los camotes. She ended up going to another locale that was within code, and she closed in a year. And she could have been successful in Grand Avenue. So I love Nogales, and my slogan is, and the reason I'm running is because it's new participation and a new perspective. Thank you.
You still have 30 seconds if you want. Okay. Any questions then?
Thank you, sir. You mentioned the county. Same question for all candidates. Do you see a need to strengthen the relationship with the county government? And if so, do you have a plan of action on how that collaboration will occur? Thank you.
Hello. Well, let me ask you, what does the county have? What's the county's plan to work with the city? Because figuratively speaking, hypothetically speaking, you're our big brother. And you have the final say on everything. We can't do anything without your stamp of okay. So I ask you guys, what is your plan to work with us? This polarization, this tribalism, this us and them, we have to get rid of that. Okay, first of all, we're on the same team. And you guys, I mean, look, I ran for supervisor, like I said, I had a very two unsavory incidents with the previous incumbent, and I was embarrassed. I was embarrassed that he represented me for 20 years. So, it's not what we want to do, it's what you guys want to do. Whatever, if I'm elected, I'm here. I suffer from common sense and logic, unfortunately. And common sense and logic, unfortunately, in bureaucracy has no place, 9 out of 10 times. But numbers are numbers, projects are projects, but time is time. We have to get things done right now. When I ran for supervisor, I ran on my campaign was, everybody wanted the money, the money, the money. You got one of 3 things. You got redemption, you got redemption, you got retribution, or you got justice. You can't have all 3. We ended up getting 30 million back, and it cost us $5 million, or she kept, anyway, it cost us $5 million or whatever to get $10 million back. So that, baloney. That being said, I ran on eliminating, modifying, or suspending FEMA. FEMA has us crippled and nobody takes that into account. If you own a house in Valle Verde and you want to make a porch, poof, you can't. Why? Because one person decided some years ago, from what I understand, I could be wrong, correct me if I am, decided that in 100 years, there may be a flood and we may go. Some time ago, I wanted to buy a building here on Morley and make some condos, like in San Diego, where I lived many years, down in the Gaslamp District, nice lofts, et cetera, and they told me, look, man, you need to talk to the city. The guy comes and he says, look, you can't do that because they're in a floodplain, floodway, flood zone. And I go, wait a minute, the building's been around since 1928. Yeah, but in 100 years, there may be a flood and we may be washed away. Well, it hasn't been washed away, pal. Well, the way it works, you can only, if the building's worth $5, and maybe those parameters have changed, because this was, I hate to say it, way pre-COVID. But he goes, if the building's worth $10, you can only finance 50% of it, and you can only remodel 40% of it. And I go, really? Why? Well, because of FEMA. Or you can scrape it and graze it and lift it up for 48 inches, just like that. Just like that? Yeah, just like that. So really, dude, come on. It's very simple. FEMA is FEMA. Common sense and logic dictates, like I told the gentleman. First of all, we know when it's going to rain, where it's going to rain, and how much it's going to rain. We can prepare for rain. We can prepare for rain. The city can prepare for rain. The county can prepare for rain because it runs all the way to Tubac. And my argument is the following, common sense and logic. You have the San Andreas Fault, has 30, 40 million people on it. Every day they're building. Every day they're developing. Every day it's including the 5-10-year plan. And we're crippled because of a forecast? Come on. If I get into city council, I'll do my best to address it. I don't know if I'll be able to remedy it, but that's a big, big, big no-no because that helps people. Now, that's hindering people from growing. We have to support our local businesses. I have to support our local insurance company. See, the problem here with Nogales, and a couple of people have told me, I used to sell them this, I used to sell them that, and then they started counting my money, and then they went to a bigger company that supports all the cities. How do you guys want jobs if you don't support? The city doesn't support their own people. How do you want to grow? There's a lady that I do business with, humble lady, I won't say her name because I didn't ask her permission. She fixes chainsaws and weedies, and she says, Luisito, por favor, haz algo, help me because I had the business. I don't want all the business, she said, but I need some business. I depleted my savings. I like what I do. He has a job. We have a job, but we need support. And we got, I don't know how many, I know how many. We got a big equipment inventory in the city of Nogales. That's one example. There's many other examples, but I'm not here to teach you anything. I'm just here to expose the possibility of doing something. So, if you have a plan, let's do it. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'd like to know, so you would like the city to prioritize its small business owners? Yes or no?
No. I would like the city to facilitate the opportunity for someone to do business. The government isn't here to provide a job. The government is here to facilitate your opportunity for a job.
But if you already have a small business established who has everything in place to do business with the city, you would like to facilitate that connection?
Absolutely, I just said that. I'll reiterate it once again. Yes, if the city of Nogales can give them business, why not? We have to stay away from sanctioned companies and sanctioned representatives and sanctioned this. We need to support our local people. You want kids to have a job? Let this job grow. Yes, ma'am.
Buenas tardes.
Buenas tardes, señorita.
Habemos en la comunidad personas muy involucradas para trabajar para nuestra comunidad aquí en el condado de Santa Cruz. Para nosotros es de suma importancia trabajar para nuestros jóvenes y traer a nuestra comunidad una comunidad con una infraestructura segura y saludable para los ciclistas. ¿Tiene usted como prioridad apoyar la infraestructura ciclista y recreación de más espacios seguros recreativos para nuestra comunidad?
A ver, no entiendo la pregunta.
¿Cómo usted se compromete como parte del concilio? Sabemos para nosotros la comunidad el concilio es de suma importancia, que trabaje mano a mano con el mayor y trabaje con la comunidad, ¿ok? ¿Usted se puede comprometer o es prioridad para usted el deporte, la salud mental y la recreación para los jóvenes?
Sí, pero ¿qué pasó con las bicicletas? ¿Qué no era la pregunta inicial?
Tuvimos una fatalidad aquí en el condado de Santa Cruz. Nosotros no queremos que haya más muertes en nuestra comunidad. Quisiéramos una infraestructura segura, que haya ya sea un pad, un bike lane, algo segura para que las personas jóvenes y adultos puedan ir a su trabajo y a su escuela de una forma segura.
Ok, entendí, ok, muy bien. Pues estamos de acuerdo que los caminos, sea el Western, Mesquite Lane, Grand Avenue, son para los autos, ¿de acuerdo? Todos los caminos están bajo el ADOT. Entonces, ese es algo que tienes que platicar con ADOT. Yo no tengo el poder, claro que quiero que haga una fila ahí para los bicicletistas, pero al subirse al camino de los carros corren unos riesgos. Sí, desgraciadamente hay tragedias, igual que las motos, igual que los carros. Algo seguro, yo no creo que nadie te prometa, pero poder hacer una fila dedicada, todas las otras ciudades las tienen. Ahora, ¿qué planes tiene ADOT para Nogales? Te van a preguntar, pues, ¿cuántos son? ¿Dónde van? Hay mucha criteria que te van a pedir, me imagino yo, para tratar de ayudarte en ese problema. La infraestructura es sumamente importante. Yo creo que la bronca ahorita que tenemos del agua se fue décadas y décadas y décadas, porque el mantenimiento hoy que quizás otras administraciones no lo hicieron, nos evitaron donde estamos ahorita económicamente, ¿verdad? Entonces, el mantenimiento es la llave para toda la infraestructura, porque si no la mantienes, tienes un gasto enorme como un globo, en vez de una cucharadita cada año, cada 2 años, pero pues el dinero lo tiene que proporcionar en el presupuesto. Mande.
Había comentado que la infraestructura de las calles es responsabilidad de ADOT. Es lo mismo de las banquetas, porque también hemos visto mucha gente y mucho límite en banquetas dentro de nuestra comunidad. Entonces, si tal vez usted no tiene parte en la infraestructura de las calles, tal vez pudiera haber una plática o una posibilidad de banquetas o otros medios para poder ofrecer algo más seguro para nuestra gente que no está en carros o en motocicletas.
Sí, yo entiendo, pues la banqueta para los peatones, claro, ¿no? Y yo creo que cada desarrollo fraccionamientos incluye lo que es la banqueta, ¿no? Ahora, en veces las raíces de las plantas lo levanta, etcétera, etcétera, pero pues donde debe de haber, a lo que yo veo y entiendo, pues sí ponen las banquetas, ¿no? Y claro, para el futuro cada comunidad, cada vecindad debería tener su propia banqueta.
And excuse me, I hate to cut you off, but our time is up. We're trying to be fair to everybody, give the same amount of time. So thank you very much, Mr. Potter.
Gracias.
And then our final candidate for the evening is Mr. Joe Diaz for City Council.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you, Edgardo, We Love Nogales, for the venue and all your technical expertise with all this modern technology. Thank you for that. And I want to thank everybody here that has an interest in our community, that you are here to listen to us, to see what we propose, why we're running for office. And I think it's very important to let all the people that live here to at least watch YouTube or Facebook and see the issues and see what we're talking about. That's very important. With that being said, let me tell you a little bit about myself. I was born and raised here in Nogales, Arizona, and my parents brought me up with a very strong work ethic, discipline, responsibility. I started working when I was in first grade. We lived on Elm Street. I went to school at Elm School, and I worked with my dad where the Chiquita Bar is now. It used to be a service station. I worked there for a few years when I was growing up. So I did my homework after I got home with my dad after work. And my mom was a stay-home mom and everything, but I didn't like staying home. I liked to do the mechanical and get my hands full of grease and all that. But my main job, when I was 7 years old, I was selling kerosene to Mexico in glass jugs, because there was no plastic gallon jugs. It was $1. I used to get those silver dollars. And of course I gave them to my dad because we were selling kerosene. So in all my life, I worked with my dad because most of his life, he had his own business. So I stuck with him like glue till the day he died. And it's a family-owned business now. I took it over from my dad, and now my sons took it over from me. So it's a third-generation business. I've been in business all my life. Naturally, I tried something else when I was in high school. I worked at Shakey's, I worked at Irvine Industries, and I got to learn a lot of things about how things work. Right out of high school, I joined the Army National Guard, and I was there for 20 years and 6 months. But when during my 15th year, we got activated. My unit got activated, went to Desert Shield, went to Desert Storm. I went with 750,000 of my brothers and sisters. We were boots on the ground in Iraq, Saudi Arabia, and Kuwait. And thank God for all the training and being united that I am here today with you guys and all my friends, because we all went and we all came back together. Very successful operation, and it's something I wouldn't want to do again, but if I had to, I would. I have 2 honorable discharges, one from the Army National Guard and one for the regular Army. When we got back from Desert Storm, I put in my 20, I retired, and I kept working my business. And thank God my kids grew up. Now they took over, and we're doing very well. So the reason I am running for city council, and I served under 2 administrations, 2.5 administrations. I did one with Arturo Gallino, one with John Doyle, and then the third one was 2.5 years. I filled in for Mr. Rojas for 2.5 years with Art as the mayor, Mayor Gallino. So I have the experience, and experience does matter. I learned a lot. I saw how everything works, and I got a feel for it, and I liked it. It was something that I was doing for the community. It was positive. I worked as Mayor Gallino was saying right now. Shane Dilly, awesome city manager, awesome. He brought in a marketing analyst that worked for the city, and I got to do a lot of work with the marketing analyst. I learned a lot about economic development and how to bring businesses to Nogales. We did a web page where Nogales was being advertised for free. It was 6 one-minute videos, and it showed how great Nogales was to bring in investors, as Mike Melendez was saying right now. And that didn't cost the city anything. It was an outfit out of New York. It was people I met in Washington, D.C. They showed their product. I brought it to mayor and council, to our city manager, and they came down and they did the videos and everything. It didn't cost the city anything. And our marketing analyst was a big part of that. Thank you for that.
Time's up, thank you. Okay. Any questions for Mr. Diaz?
Same question. Do you see a need to strengthen the relationship with the county government? And if so, do you have a plan of action to make that collaboration happen?
Yes, I do. I do see there's a very large need for the county and the city to work together. Also, the city has to work with state and federal, not just the county. Nogales is the county seat. We are the county seat. So it's very important that the city and the county work together. We should always work together. The county manages the city's flood control. You guys get the money for flood control. You do the flood control with Nogales money for Nogales, for the Nogales Wash, the Western Avenue, Ephraim Canyon, all that. So it is very important that we do a lot of things together. Nogales survives on retail, on the sales tax. We don't have a property tax. The county gets all the property tax. Nogales doesn't get any of it, but we do get all the retail, which is only 2% because the state takes the 6.6%, which is, it doesn't leave a lot of money for our projects, but we make do with what we got. One of the reasons I'm running is to spend money wisely. I have that work ethic that a happy employee is a productive employee. And it's real important right now because we're losing a lot of employees, especially with the police department and our public works. Somebody was saying something about sidewalks right now. The sidewalks within the city is a city problem. Grand Avenue is a state highway. It's called Business 19, which is part of I-19. So I haven't seen any city workers, cement workers, working on cracked sidewalks or fixing broken sidewalks or anything like that. I don't know what happened with all the cement workers we had at the city, so we as city council need to look at all these things that are popping up right now, which is very, very important for the citizens to be able to walk down the sidewalk without falling into a hole or tripping on a lifted up section of sidewalk. Nogales is really clean, it's really safe, but we are short 18 officers, police officers. And it's very important that we do get those 18 police officers. And one of the reasons is because insurance companies look at that. They look at your infrastructure, how many fire hydrants you have in your whole area, and if your departments are fully staffed. That's where they give you your rates. If you look at your insurance policies, especially on your car insurance, they put down there always, you are being billed because of this area. So it does cost us for not having a fully staffed departments. We need the directors, we need a good city manager, and we have to have directors. I agree that they should be local and they should be experienced. They don't have to have a PhD or a master's or anything like that. As long as you have the experience, a good work ethic, and you work hard and you know what you're doing, fine, give them the job. Everybody deserves a job. Not everybody could afford to go to college. Because right now, universities, colleges are very expensive, and our local population, the people that work here, don't have that kind of money to send their kids to, U of A, ASU, NAU, especially out of town. Forget it, that's cost prohibitive. So we need good, hardworking people, which there is a lot of good, hardworking people here in Nogales. They might not have a degree, but they know what they're doing. And it's very important to hire local and to give incentives to small businesses. The small businesses are the backbone of the United States economy. All small businesses. We are the backbone of the economy of the United States of America. Sure, you have your big stores and all that, but if you have a small business, you become an interpreter You build up your business, you hire people, and you produce for your community. The big box stores, they bring in a lot of merchandise and all that. They sell it, and where does the money go? It goes to corporate. It goes out of town. The money doesn't stay here. They hire people, yes. People do have a job, but the majority of the money goes out of town. If you're a small business, you buy this building, you buy next door and grow your business. And it's a snowball effect where you can support your local businesses and you support your local population, which is, I think, very important. Very, very important. Am I still talking or questions?
We have a diverse population here, just like everywhere else. Lots of competing interests. The city itself has a lot of projects, a lot of things going on, and yet there's limited resources. How do you prioritize when there are so many demands, so many wants, so many priorities for so many different people? How do you prioritize the things that we do need to do so that we can move forward on something?
Well, when you're in government, everything's a priority. I mean, everything's a priority. Right now, the priority is get the right people in place that are going to lead the city. And I mean, lead the city by having the correct people in strategic positions. City manager, the directors, the supervisors, and of course your workers that are going to do the job for you. That is one of the main deals that we have to do, because the mayor and council, we're legislative. We don't go out and tell anybody what to do. We make the hard decisions, we legislate, and that's our position. We are legislators. That's why we have that position of city council member. And it's just the way it is. We have our chain of command, which is mayor and council report to the city manager. He carries out our orders, but our bosses are you, the people. It's we, the people, and we are the voice of we, the people. That's who we are. We are the voice of we, the people. And that's our position, that we carry out the will of the people. And we do that through a chain of command. And we have to be united to make sure that we're all on the same page, so we can get all these projects done, so we can take care of all these priorities, so we can bring a better life to the citizens of Nogales, so we can bring in economic development. And we have to lobby Congress, Senate, to fully staff the borders, so we can let all these people from Mexico come in and spend their money here. A lot of people come one day, they go to the stores, they buy a bunch of stuff, and then they go back to Mexico. But right now, the border wait times are horrendous. 2, 3 hours, 4 hours, just to come into the United States to spend your money. And Mexico, they have every store we have here. But a lot of people say the quality is better here. But they want to come to the United States and do their shopping here. So we got to facilitate that. And we have to reach out to federal government, because they're the ones in the driver's seat right there. We have to reach out to them and help us help them by, if we produce more money in taxes, the federal government gets a cut of that too. So it's very important to get things like that done. We have to reach out to the stakeholders, and we have to get the small businesses involved in city council meetings and in talking to us. They have to let us know what their needs are. We just can't go out and walk around and say, well, we need this, we need that. They have to directly talk to mayor and council and express their concerns. We need to know what the people want, because they are our boss. You, the people, you are our boss. And you have to communicate with us and let us know what your concerns are and what ideas you have to get these concerns taken care of. And we'll do our best to get it done, and we're going to do it united. Right now, Mayor and Council's not united, but I learned a lot about being united when I was in the Army overseas. We depended on each other for survival. So it's very important that we unite. Mayor and Council has to work together to make Nogales more attractive, more resilient, and more successful. So thank you very much. I enjoyed talking with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. We want to thank all of our candidates for being here tonight. We want to thank you for being here tonight. An informed voter is the very best kind of voter. And you, I hope, are leaving here far more informed than you came tonight. And that you will go out and vote, because it is, the early ballots have already been mailed out. I know that mine's waiting for me in my mailbox. And so I'm going to go home and start filling it out. Turn it in at one of the voting boxes around the county, or turn it in by mail. Just turn it in, or go and vote in person. Any of those are good. But if you don't vote, you can't complain. And I like complaining, so that's a good thing for me. I want to thank each one of you for spending a couple of hours with us today, doing something that really matters. Also want to invite you to Tubac tomorrow, to St. Anne's Hall on Baca Street. And this is where we're going to have our county candidates. We'll have our 2 Justice of the Peace candidates there. We will have our county superintendent candidates. And we will have our Legislative District 21 candidates there. So please come and join us. There are materials at the back that you are welcome to take with you about both the candidates running, and then some information over here about voting. And you can see some of our Santa Cruz Democrat shirts back there where they have the good stuff that you can come get. So please pick those up. Any of the signs you see on the backs of the chairs here, you're welcome to take and display as well. Once again, I want to thank you so much for your time here, and hope that you can join us again tomorrow. If you cannot be there, we will be broadcasting live on Facebook and on YouTube via We Love Nogales. And once again, we want to thank Edgardo and We Love Nogales for being here and broadcasting this tonight. Once again, thank you so much. Thank you to the Gulf for hosting us, and thank you to the Santa Cruz County Democrats for sponsoring this event. Thank you. Have a wonderful night. God bless you. Could you guys stand up for a picture of everybody? Look handsome. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Good job, everybody. Well, thank you. Thank you. I've been doing this with spelling bees and kids for years. These are easy. They pay attention. I say 1 minute.